Hi everybody, Mr. Boma from Mr. Boma's Balloons, and I'm here to answer another one of those frequently asked questions. What kind of balloons should I buy? Now this is a newbie question, but you know what, that's fine. I wish that somebody had answered this question for me when I was starting out, because I ended up with a lot of balloons that I don't use, I didn't like, and it really would have been helpful. So before I answer the question, though, I'm going to recommend 4 bags of balloons, 3 assortments, and 1 other bag. But before I do that, I want to talk about the different brands and the sizes and shapes of balloons so that you've got the knowledge base to understand why I'm recommending what I'm recommending and to then go on from there. Once you're done with those 4 bags of balloons, you'll be able to branch out. Okay, the brands of balloons. There are 2 major brands. The first is Qualitex. Qualitex is made by the Pioneer Balloon Company. They're manufactured right here in the United States, so if made in the USA matters to you, that's the brand to get. They come in bags of 100, and they have more assortments, I think, than the other brand. This is the brand that more wholesalers carry, and so you may find that this is the brand that you have to get because they're the only brand that your wholesaler has. In my case, I use more Qualitex than the other brand simply for that reason, because my wholesaler carries a lot more Qualitex than the other brand. So what is that other brand? That other brand is Betalitex. At least where I live, it's called Betalitex. It's made by the Sempertex company, and you can see on here it says Sempertex. It also says Betalic. And in some parts of the world, it's marketed under those other names. So you may find Betalitex, you may find Sempertex, you may find Betalic, all the same. These come in bags of 50 instead of bags of 100. The bags have a nice zip closure so that you can reclose the bags. That's very nice. These are, let's see, it says proudly made in Colombia. So if that matters to you. These people say are longer and stronger. I don't know about the stronger part, but the longer part is definitely true. They do tend up to inflate a little bit longer than the Qualitex. The Betalitex, I have a sister who has a latex allergy, and both balloon companies make their balloons from natural latex rubber. It comes from a tree, the sap of a tree. And because of that, it has a plant protein in it that can cause allergies. But Qualitex washes their balloons to wash away that protein, and I think both companies actually wash their balloons. But I think Qualitex maybe has a longer wash cycle, because my sister says that she can handle the Qualitex balloons and barely get any reaction at all, but the Betalitex balloons give her a really big reaction. So if allergies are a concern to you, or if you know someone who has an allergy to latex, then you may want to stay away from the Betalitex and go with the Qualitex. There are definitely some colors that I prefer in the Betalitex. So I prefer their black. I think that it's easier to work with. It doesn't pop as easily as the Qualitex black. It also is a little bit more opaque. The Qualitex black sometimes will be a little bit on the translucent side, transparent side. I prefer the Betalitex lilac. I think it's a much more vibrant color than the Qualitex lilac. And Scott Kazan has a good video about that, so you can look up Scott Kazan's channel and hear all about that. So those are the 2 brands. I do use both brands, but like I said, I use more Qualitex simply because of availability. Now, what are the sizes and shapes? Well, the standard twisting balloon is called a 260. The 2 is for 2 inches in diameter, the 60 is for 60 inches long. But that's kind of an estimate. I think when inflated, if we look at a 260, when inflated, I don't think that's quite 2 inches. It's maybe 1 3/4 inches. And I don't think, in the Qualitex at least, I don't think they get to 60 inches. They might get close in some colors, because that's the other thing, is that different colors will blow up different lengths. I might make something with one color and I get through it fine using one balloon. I go to make it with another color and I end up having to use 2 balloons. because the balloons, the additives that they put into the latex to give them the colors might affect how flexible and how much the balloon stretches, and so as it inflates. So it might affect the actual length of the balloon. The Betalitex, I think, might actually come close to, if not actually hit that 60-inch mark. But I don't think Qualitex, somebody actually did an experiment. They blew up a whole bunch of different colors about a year ago and posted it online, showing that the Qualitex were not getting to that 60-inch mark in any of the colors. But that's a 260. This is the standard twisting balloon. This is what you're going to start with as a newbie. The next size that you're going to use is the 160. These are sometimes called spaghetti balloons because they're so skinny, and the pump for these is a smaller pump. This is sometimes referred to as a spaghetti blaster because it's for the spaghetti balloons. These are 160, 1 inch in diameter, 60 inches long. So they look like this if we compare the 260 to the 160. These have a tendency to kind of curl as you blow them up. They'll come out like this. Excuse me. So you just have to kind of manipulate them and straighten them back out. I have a hard time finding Betalitex 160s. My wholesaler doesn't seem to carry a very big supply of them. And because a lot of designs I want the colors to match, I buy mostly Qualitex so that I have matching between the different sizes. So those are 160s. The next size up are 3 inches in diameter. In the Qualitex, these are 350s, so only 50 inches long. In Betalitex, these are 360s, so definitely much longer in the Betalitex than the Qualitex. These look like this when fully inflated, so you can see the difference. I've been told that the Betalitex 3-inch balloons are not quite 3 inches in diameter. They're just like the 260s, not quite 2 inches. In the Betalitex, the 360s are not quite 3 inches in diameter. They're a little bit narrower compared to the Qualitex. The Qualitex are a full 3-inch diameter. So I can't confirm that. I haven't used 360s. I've only used 350s, so I don't know if that's true or not. Lastly, we have the 6-inch diameter. In Qualitex, these are 646s. In Betalitex, 660. So they go 160, 260, 360, 660. They're all 60 inches. So that's kind of nice with the Betalitex that they're all 60 inches. These are sometimes referred to as airships. Excuse me. Because they're so big around, they kind of look like a Zeppelin or a dirigible, a blimp, an airship. So they're sometimes called airships. So that's the 6-inch diameter. The next thing that we want to talk about are different shapes. Round balloons. As a twister, you'll probably use mostly 5-inch rounds. So 5-inch round. You may find yourself occasionally needing larger sizes. Depending on the brand, these come in like, I think, 9, 12, 15, 18, all the way up to 3-foot diameter. So I would never use this for twisting, but these are fun to play with. I'm not going to blow it up. So let me get a drink. I keep coughing. I'll be right back. Okay, so round balloons, lots of different sizes. You'll probably mostly use a 5-inch. They do make them with pre-printed faces. Here's a zombie head. Here's an alien head. They make polka dots. They make stripes, animal stripes. So round balloons. They make round balloons that have a little end on them. In the Betalic, these are called Linkaloons. In the Qualitex, they're called Quick Links. And the idea is, when you inflate them, that end part does not inflate. So you can take that and you can tie that to the next balloon, and you can make a chain of round balloons. A lot of decorators use these balloons. But for balloon twisting, it's nice to have that extra attachment point. You'll find some designs where you'll use these. Or you can also force the air into that tip. And there are a few designs that use that. I posted a Chihuahua that used that for the nose of the Chihuahua. So those are the Link type balloons. Both companies make them. Next we have hearts. Hearts come in, the standard heart is a 6-inch heart. And so here's a Qualitex and here's a Metalitex. You see the difference in the shape of the heart and in the length of the neck? I like the shape of the Qualitex better. I like the long neck of the Metalitex better. I kind of wish that, you know, they would have best of both worlds. But sometimes I will use one, sometimes I will use the other. I do use both brands of hearts. So those are the hearts. They come, again, in different sizes. This is, I think, either a 9 or 11 inch. I think this is an 11-inch heart. And I use this for Hello Kitty. So hearts come in lots of different sizes, and you can get hearts with prints on them as well. In addition to the hearts, there are what are called 321s. So this is also known as a B body, a 321 or a B body. And this end part, again, when you inflate it, that end doesn't inflate. It gives you an attachment point for another balloon, or you can make a B out of this part, and that's the stinger. That's why it's called a B body. And they'll make these, when they first came out, they would double dip these, and you can still buy the double dipped. So they'll do the color, and then they'll dip it in black. And so that end part has been double dipped, and it's black. And so when you make your B, you have a black stinger, or you can make an apple out of that, and you have a black stem. And so you can get them dipped or undipped. You can force the air into the end there. That makes a nice dinosaur's tail, or it's got a nice taper to it, so that shape can be helpful for certain things. Can be useful for making certain kinds of designs. So that's the 321B body. Only Qualitex makes these. Another one that only Qualitex makes is the Geo Blossom. There are also Geo Donuts that are much larger. They're donuts, they're rings. They're great for making big car tires. But they don't make smaller sizes. This is a small, I think, 6-inch Geo Blossom. It's kind of a cheater flower. They're expensive. I find they have a lot of pinholes in them. They're defective a lot. So they're just not worth it to me. You can turn them inside out. There are some neat things that you can do with them, but So there are some other specialty shapes as well. Metalitex makes like a bear head, a big bear head, a caterpillar body. Qualitex makes a mouse head that's kind of the equivalent of the bear head. Metallic makes a clown head. So there are these other specialty shapes that you may eventually want to play with. You may find some tutorials for some things that use those. But really, starting out, all you're going to use are 260s. Now, what 260s are you going to buy? That's the question. You're not going to buy a bag of 100 red, 100 bag yellow, 100 bag of orange, 100 bag of green. You're going to buy assortments. So what assortments do you want to buy? This is the advice that I wish I had gotten when I first started out. Qualitex has what's called the Entertainer's Assortment. Stay away from it. It sounds like that should be the assortment for Twisters. We're the entertainers, right? Stay away from it. Don't get the entertainers. There's the traditional assortment. Oh, good, traditional. That sounds great. Stay away from it. You don't want those. The reason is they have jewel tones in them. In Metalitex, I think they call these crystal tone. In Qualitex, they're called jewel tone. And they're these translucent, transparent balloons. They pop a lot more easily than the opaque balloons. Stay away from them. So don't get no traditional, no entertainers. I still have jewel tones left over from the first bag of balloons I bought. because I bought those traditional and entertainer assortments, and I ended up with a bunch of these, and I hated them. I do use them occasionally for certain things, but it's few and far between. As a newbie, you don't want balloons that pop easily. You want balloons that are sturdy and will hold up. So you want the solid colors. So the assortment that you want is the Carnival assortment. That will get you your red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, your rainbow colors. Carnival assortment in the Qualatex. The Battalatex equivalent to that, I think, is the Fashion assortment. So that will get you your rainbow colors. Now, if you want your pinks and your light blue and your lilac, your kind of pastels, you want the Vibrant assortment. So Vibrant assortment, rainbow assortment. The last thing that you want are your browns and blacks and white and gray. Those come in the Character assortment. I don't think that there's a Battalatex equivalent to either the Vibrant or the Character assortment. I haven't seen Battalatex equivalents. I've only seen those in the Qualatex. So Carnival assortment, Vibrant assortment, Character assortment. Those three assortments will get you all the colors you'll need. You'll have probably 20 different colors with those, maybe more than that. It's everything you're going to want in those 3 bags. And the last thing that you'll want are white rounds. And the reason for that is you'll start off making 1 balloon animals, and then you'll graduate up to 2 or 3 balloon animals, and a lot of those are going to use white rounds for the eyeballs. You blow up a white round. I don't have one here. I'll just use zombie head. You'll blow up the round balloon just a little bit, and then you will twist it in half to make eyeballs. So you'll buy those 3 assortments, again, Carnival assortment, Vibrant assortment, Character assortment, and then buy a bag of white rounds. And that will get you through. I mentioned the jewel tones. Stay away from the jewel tones. The other things you want to avoid, this is a metallic balloon. It's very pretty, makes a good crown or a sword. They make silver, they make gold. Battalatex has different colors in metallic. They also make pearl tone that is similar, uses the same additive to give it this kind of finish, the metallic or pearl finish. It really stiffens up the latex. It makes them much more difficult to work with. So stay away from metallics and pearl tones when you're first starting out. Eventually, when you're more comfortable, when you've built up the muscles in your hand, then you can start using these. But don't start off with them. Something else to avoid. This is a neon balloon. I love the neons, but for beginners, they're not very good because when you twist a neon balloon and then untwist it, it scars the coloring. The neon balloons have kind of a powder inside, and when you twist them and untwist them, it leaves a scar in the coloring. And you do that a lot more as a new twister than as an experienced twister. You end up, oh wait, that's not right, you untwist, and you get that ugliness. So avoid the neons, avoid the pearl tones and the metallics, avoid the jewel tones and the crystals. Stay with the Carnival assortment, the Vibrant assortment, the Character assortment, and the white rounds. Once you've worked your way through those, you'll have enough experience, you'll be able to move on to the other stuff. Okay, hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. All right, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.